Main event coming up later today on TSN. We'll feature Larry Zbyszko defending the America's title against Steve-O Zanowski. Next week, you will see this man, Nick Bockwinkel, and this man, Ray the Crippler Stevens, wrestle Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne. And as I originally understand it, it was originally Jim Brunzell and Greg Gagne to face you and your partner, Nick Bockwinkel.
I think Mr. Brunzell got injured. He went to the bathroom in the morning to brush his teeth, and all of his guts fell into the sink. But I can understand that because the thought that he might step into the ring with Mr. Stevens and Mr. Bockwinkel, who were the former tag team champions, much as he and Mr. Gagne were, I guess the second time around, he thought better of everything that took place the first time.
You know what, Nick? He's been watching guys get pile drivers. He's been watching guys get concussions. He's been watching people get broken ribs like Vern Gagne. And you know what? It must have bothered him a whole lot. He was really worried about it. But at the last minute, he got to thinking what was going to happen to him, and I think he just had to go south. You know that?
Okay, enough of him then. Let's talk about Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne. Now, we're looking at two gentlemen, second generation, much as myself. So you know that they come into the ring with a lot of tradition, and a lot of spirit, and a lot of fire, but still at the same time, we have been a legend in our own time. We set the pace before as the world's heavyweight champion. And I really wonder, Raymond, do you think they are ready for this? As you know and I know we are.
Well, you know, both their fathers, one of them is crippled right now, got a severe concussion, broken ribs, Vern Gagne. So Larry Hennig has got to be talking to Curt Hennig, and he's got to be very, very interested in this match because he knows what we're capable of doing. And he knows that we will do it to anybody or any time at any place, and there's nothing going to stop us. So if that was my boy out there going to wrestle us, I don't know what I would be thinking, but I darn sure wouldn't want him wrestling two men like us.
Well, you got to figure we sucked the old fool right into our little ploy. Vern Gagne, we just baited him verbally, and he came out, stuck his head in, and I think the people have all heard and known what happened to him, as Mr. Stevens has said. He got cracked over the head with a chair. The price of the, you know, it's all part of the battle.
Well, the bottom line is we're after the gold. We're after the belts, the Road Warriors, the Freebirds, anybody, Curt Hennig, Greg Gagne, anybody who wants to step in the ring with us, come right on, brother, because we're after the championship. And you know what? The bottom line is getting the job done and winning. And winners we are, winners we were always going to be, and we're going to get that championship one way or another.
You know what? No sequins and no face paint. We must be terrific.
The words of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens next week. Our main event pits them against Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne. This is brought a main event anywhere in the world featuring these two gentlemen, Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens, against Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne. 40 minutes from now, you step into the ring.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, last week I stood out here and I was rather coy and sly and snide in some of the things I said, even though I believed everything that was said. But today, Mr. Curt Hennig and Mr. Greg Gagne, it's going to be down and dirty time. We're going to step into the ring, and it's not going to be just a conversation. Nobody's going to be saying anything. Everybody's going to be doing something. And Mr. Stevens and I plan on doing one thing, hurting both of you if we must. We did it to your father, Greg Gagne, and we are not afraid to do it to you and to Curt Hennig. So I can tell you right now, as the man has said, we want the gold. The bottom line is we must get the job done, and if it's at the expense of your bodies, so be it.
Tell you what, brother, we're not here to play with anybody. There's going to be a lot of people pay some heavy dues, and they're going to pay it with some heavy pain. And we're just the two dudes, brother, that can put the pain out. So if you can't stand the heat, I'm going to tell everybody in the AWA right now, you better start getting out of the kitchen because Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens are coming through, brother. We're going to run over everybody, anything, until we get to that championship.
Burn the house down. It's warm-up time.
40 minutes from now, it starts for them against Curt Hennig and Greg Gagne.
Real team battle, 1 ball, 60-minute time limit. Introducing first of all at 246 pounds out of San Francisco, California, Ray the Crippler Stevens. And his partner at 249 pounds out of Beverly Hills, California, 3-time former heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel. And their opponents, first of all, at 241 pounds, out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota. partner at 217 pounds out of Mound, Minnesota, Greg Gagne. 1 fall, 60 minutes.
Well, this could well be a war.
Greg Gagne and Kurt Hennig, both second-generation wrestlers, against Nick Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens. Of course, we all know Nick Bockwinkel, also a second-generation wrestler. These guys don't like one another at all. Bad blood going back a long time. Now with me at ringside, Mr. Ken Resnick.
Of course, Larry Nelson. This one, I don't know. Greg Gagne, Nick Bockwinkel, I don't think either man in this one is really concerned with winning. They just want to hurt one another, pure and simple.
Well, Kurt Hennig and Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens dislikes to hurt anybody, anytime, period. And look at Greg Gagne. He's ready.
Now, see, very smart move by Bockwinkel and Stevens. Greg Gagne just intent on getting a Nick Bockwinkel, pure and simple. But you see Stevens stay back in the corner. They wanted to lure Greg Gagne into their corner, but so far it hasn't worked. And look at Greg Gagne going to work.
Ray Stevens wants out of there. Greg Gagne has got to calm down.
Referee Joe Fiorino cautioning Greg Gagne to keep that fist open.
They almost had him trapped in the corner, and you can understand what's going on, but he's got to calm down. They'll use that against him. Ray Stevens and Greg Gagne collar and elbow. Now they've got him in the corner. And of all the corners in the world to be trapped in, those two men, now look at it, Stevens distracting the referee.
Bockwinkel blatantly choking Greg Gagne. Referee Joe Fiorino distracted, ordering Kurt Hennig out of the ring. Now look at Nick Bockwinkel stands there just like a little angel saying, "Who me? I didn't do anything." You and I, Larry, and the fans both know difference.
And now it is Bockwinkel and Gagne, and Bockwinkel continuing the chokehold. Joe Fiorino trying to get in a position to see it.
Whoa!
And he gave him another one. And another one. There's the knee. And Bockwinkel wisely going to the corner. Ray Stevens stalling, and that's the only word for it. Joe Fiorino starts the count. He's not buying the Crippler's story. Now it's Ray Stevens in the ring. Greg Gagne has been going the whole way, and he has been going like a wild man. Stevens and Bockwinkel are going to talk it over. They'll do anything to slow this pace down right now.
No doubt about that. And both men, well, so far Nick Bockwinkel has showed, perhaps we could say, a bit of a yellow streak, not wanting anything to do with Greg Gagne.
Greg Gagne now working on Ray the Crippler, and Kurt Hennig comes in for the first time. And boy, does he come in. And he's giving it to the arm of the Crippler. Ray Stevens in a really bad position. Kurt Hennig has that arm bar on him, and he's got Stevens on his back on the mat so he can give it full force pressure with every ounce of weight in his body. Kurt Hennig working on Ray the Crippler Stevens. Greg Gagne pacing. He is just a wild man. Now he's finally going stationary. Kurt Hennig in total control. You can watch the Crippler bang those feet, trying to distract himself in any way.
Look at the pressure Kurt Hennig is putting on the shoulder joint of Ray the Crippler Stevens. I'll tell you, Ray Stevens got no choice, Larry, but to move every time Kurt Hennig does, or he's going to find himself with one very dislocated shoulder.
Bockwinkel starts to come in, goes back out. Ray the Crippler Stevens needs to get to his feet, but his elbow, look at that. You can see it from ringside. I don't know, you can't pick it up on the monitor right now, but his arm is just white as a sun-bleached bone right around the elbow.
He's waving that arm. He's trying to tell Nick Bockwinkel he wants to tag off. He's in trouble right now, no doubt about it.
Well, he's smack in the center of the ring.
Now, the key here is the longer Kurt Hennig holds this, you've got to wonder how long it's going to take Ray Stevens to work the circulation back into that arm before he's able to use it like he normally does.
Well, he needs the tag now. That's what he's got to have. And Curt Hennig doing everything he can to keep him in the center of the ring. Bockwinkel stretching for all he's worth. Curt Hennig with all the tenacity of a bulldog, just stretching and pressuring that arm. Now Greg Gagne coming in.
Well, they made the tag.
Joe Fiorito didn't see it.
Greg Gagne has
Look
it.
at that. Greg Gagne goes to the top rope. Right on the arm. Crowd goes crazy.
Referee Joe Fiorito turns around, doesn't know what happened.
And now Greg Gagne is going berserk, and it's not going to do him a bit of good.
Nick Bockwinkel, rather.
Or Nick Bockwinkel. I'm going berserk. Crowd is loving every second of it. And when it's all said and done, Curt Hennig still has the arm bar. And that's after they jumped up and down on Ray Stevens' arm for a while. We're 5 minutes into this match. It's one fall, 60-minute time limit. And again, Ray Stevens desperately trying to inch to that corner.
Take a look, Larry. That whole arm of Ray Stevens is just milk white.
Yeah, he's in big trouble.
Again, trying to make his way to Nick Bockwinkel to tag off.
I think he's got it this time. He got him. There's the tag. And Curt Hennig.
Arm drag takedown, and Bockwinkel very quick to kick out of it.
Curt Hennig armbar on Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel throwing out of it, but he takes his shoulder for his trouble. Now he...
Hip block takedown, but Curt Hennig kicks right out of it. Now Bockwinkel another arm drag takedown, and this time he holds right arm.
Whoa! Curt Hennig almost went the wrong way. Almost walked right into Ray the Crippler Stevens. Greg up on the ropes. Joe Fiorito saying, get off it. Greg Gagne finally comes down and then puts a boot right to the armpit of Nick Bockwinkel and then turns him over with that arm bar. Way up and down. Now he's trying to peel the skin off Bockwinkel's head with his foot. Look at Greg Gagne. He has been a wild man from the outset of this match.
To say there is no love lost, Larry, between Greg Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel would be one of the biggest understatements of the year.
Yeah.
Pure and simple hatred.
It's like saying water will make you wet.
Now there, Larry, Greg has got a surfboard on Nick Bockwinkel. Now when he gets his foot in the back of Bockwinkel, now he's using his head. What that does, it puts such tremendous pressure on the rib cage that it actually, in a way, works to collapse the lungs
Look
of
at Ray
Bockwinkel.
Stevens trying to pull Nick Bockwinkel to the corner with the hair of his head. And look at Gagne. And Curt Hennig. And Greg Gagne again. The Gagne sleeper hold on Bockwinkel. And he's got against Stevens.
That's one thing Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens work so well together. They will do anything to win, rule book notwithstanding.
The
All
tag
right,
is
now,
made and
yeah.
Greg doesn't know it. Come on, ref.
Look at Bockwinkel. He's still groggy, Larry.
Stevens on top of Gagne. Bockwinkel manages to get out of the ring, and now he's got Greg Gagne's head over the rope. And Ray Stevens distracting. Curt Hennig comes in. That didn't do any good. Now they're both on Greg Gagne. Finally, Joe Fiorito gets some order restored. Come on! Joe Fiorito's got the worst job in the world right now. Bockwinkel and Stevens, when they get you in their corner, I can't think of another tag team in the world that can cause you more misery. And they're working Greg Gagne over with everything they have got. Sleeper hold, Nick Bockwinkel!
All right, now, Larry, watch him very controversy, a lot of controversy. Most people claim Bockwinkel's sleeper is not really a sleeper. He gets that forearm right underneath. Referee says it's very close, but a lot of people feel his is nothing more than a chokehold.
Well, they've been choking Greg Gagne for quite a while now. Bockwinkel's got him in the center of the ring. There's nowhere to go. It looks like it's over for Greg Gagne. He's got nowhere to go. Bockwinkel cranking it up. Now, wait a minute. Greg makes his way to his feet. He backs it into the corner. But it's right back. I cannot tell. Back into the corner again. Can you see, Ken, where that arm is?
Right now, it looks like it's nothing more than a chokehold there. Look at Gagne reversal. Now, the big difference, the Gagne has put it, you can clearly see Bockwinkel's neck visible. As Ray Stevens comes in, the Gagne's put it on the side of the head while Bockwinkel goes right underneath the neck.
Ray the Crippler Stevens in the ring, working on Greg Gagne, throws him out of the ring. Curt Hennig going out to chin to Greg Gagne. Ray the Crippler Stevens going through the second rope.
There you see Greg on the floor. Curt trying to help him back to that ring.
A little pat of encouragement from Curt Hennig, but when he comes right back in, Ray Stevens is all over him. Oh! He went through the ropes and right into that steel pole.
Hit that right square with his shoulder and bicep area of his arm, Larry.
Ray Stevens tags off.
Now you'll see Bockwinkel and Stevens continue to go right to work on that arm. They know it's injured. They know it's hurt.
Bockwinkel telling Fiorina to watch the fist and grabs the hair to take Greg Gagne down. And now, of course, twice the pressure. Because he can use his body weight. Joe Fiorina asking about the hair. I doubt seriously if Nick Bockwinkel's going to confess. And he is really pouring it on. Now he's got his boot on the head of Greg Gagne as well as that arm bar. Greg is up and connected. 2, 3 of them. 4, 5. Chop. Midsection. Bockwinkel coming back. Tag Stevens.
You know, like Nick Bockwinkel or not, Larry, he is one of the most resilient wrestlers in the business.
We have seen Nick Bockwinkel take beatings that nothing could withstand. And win matches. Incredible. And now the story is Ray the Crippler Stevens, and he is twisting the arm of Greg Gagne. Greg has been in there a long time, while Bockwinkel and Stevens have been managing to tag off. Ray Stevens, a sadistic wrestler. No other way to describe it. Greg Gagne fighting back with what he's got left, and where he's getting it, I don't know. Good. The tag. Bockwinkel heads him off. Somehow, Ray Stevens kept the presence of mind to make a tag. Boom!
He forgot what corner was in there. Now he gets over. Bockwinkel and Stevens. Ooh. Oh. Hennig. On a 2.
Kicked out of it. Furious action. We told you this was going to be a war. Head cracker.
Oh.
Oh. Another one for Stevens. Eye gouge gets Bockwinkel out of it. Curt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel, 2 second-generation wrestlers, going hammer and tong right now. Bockwinkel taking Hennig to the corner. They're taking the turnbuckle cover off. Now look at that. Oh. Joe Fiorina must, I mean, that. Now they both working on Kurt Hennig. They're going to go right back to that turnbuckle. They'll pull the cover off and then bring his head down on it. Now Greg Gagne trying to explain to Joe Fiorino what's going on, but all that does
give Bockwinkel and Stevens an opportunity to do it again while the referee's back is turned.
Kurt Hennig taking an unbelievable beating.
Look at Bockwinkel now, Larry. 7, 8, 9 times while Joe Fiorino's concentrating on getting Greg Gagne back into his own corner.
And now Stevens working on the forehead of Kurt Hennig. And Kurt Hennig bleeding from a serious cut. And now Ray Stevens chewing on the open wound. Kurt Hennig is out of it. He doesn't even know what country he's in. We're 15 minutes into this thing, and I don't see how Kurt Hennig... Look at that! Pure instinct! He went the wrong way! Stevens is waiting on him. They just keep pounding away on the bleeding forehead of Kurt Hennig. Greg Gagne going crazy. There's nothing he can do about it. Bockwinkel tormenting him right above us while Stevens just keeps working over the wound on Kurt Hennig's forehead. Now Bockwinkel will go for the cover, and somehow Kurt Hennig kicks out of it.
Look at the determination on Kurt Hennig, Larry, but unfortunately he doesn't really know where he is in the ring.
Well, he can't see. He's got blood in his eyes. He's been beat senseless. He's going on pure instinct. They take him into that turnbuckle again. Now it's Ray Stevens, the legal man in the ring. He throws Kurt Hennig right out on us.
I'll tell you, Larry, Kurt Hennig, besides the beating, came right down on our table, landed right on top of the ring bell.
And the table, and then hit the floor. And now it's a counting process, and I don't see how he's going to get back in the ring. He can barely stand up. Ray Stevens grabs him, takes him down into the table right next to us. Kurt Hennig's forehead's a bloody mess. Greg Gagne goes crazy in the ring after Stevens.
Now look at Nick Bockwinkel go over working on Kurt Hennig again.
Takes his head down into the table again. Gagne has hit it. Gagne has Bockwinkel kick Stevens. Oh, now Bockwinkel working on Hennig again. Greg Gagne's going wild. Bockwinkel goes back to his corner. Tags Stevens, so he's the legal man in. Kurt Hennig has taken as bad a beating as I've ever seen anyone take in my life. Every time they hit him, blood flies, but somehow he kicks out of it.
I don't know how in the world he was able to manage to get his shoulder off the mat, Larry. But look at this, the two men toe-to-toe right in the center of the ring.
Kurt Hennig trying for the escape. He made the tag! Greg Gagne's in and going crazy! Greg Gagne beating the living daylights out of every man he can get hold of. And now it's Gagne banging Stevens' head into the... And then he punches Bockwinkel. Now he's taking Bockwinkel over to that turnbuckle. Well, the pounding's coming off.
Oh, did he pull that one out of right field? Kurt Hennig above us, Larry, now just getting to his feet. What a beating he's taken.
As bad a beating as I've ever seen.
And what a beating Greg Gagne's taken. Now he's got the three-bar Bockwinkel center of the ring. Oh!
Nick Bockwinkel kicks referee Joe Fiorino. Fiorino is down. Stevens is in. Kurt Hennig coming in.
Oh! And, oh, Ray Stevens thrown out of the ring.
Ring the bell, says Joe Fiorino when he comes halfway through. It's not going to do any good.
Well, Larry, he looked up, saw all four wrestlers in the ring. He didn't know what had happened. He had really no choice but to call this one. I don't know if it, I imagine he's just calling it no contest. Now, Gagne holding on to the sleeper on Nick Bockwinkel in the center of the ring. Ray Stevens outside. Kurt Hennig above us, absolutely dazed.
The crowd's going nuts.
Ray
Greg
Stevens.
Gagne won't let go. Ray Stevens doesn't have enough left to get in the ring, and here comes Kurt Hennig, and now he's going to administer a little. They keep saying ring the bell, but it's not stopping anybody. Stevens is down.
Greg Gagne laying on a man with Bockwinkel still holding the sleeper on him. Bockwinkel absolutely out.
Kurt Hennig.
We've just got an official word from referee Joe Fiorino, Larry. He's called this one no contest. He came to, saw all four wrestlers going at each other in the center of the ring, really had no choice.
Well, we told you that it was going to be a war, and it was. Even before the bell rang, these guys went at one another.
I'll tell you, Larry, it goes down in the books as no contest, but you've got to believe that, now there's what happened there. You see referee Joe Fiorino down. You've got all four men in the ring.
Greg Gagne taking Nick Bockwinkel's head to that uncovered turnbuckle, which is where Bockwinkel and Stevens opened the wound on Kurt Hennig. Grabs Bockwinkel after pulling the padding out and gives it to him
No
again.
contest. Greg Gagne asking for the decision, but as we said, Larry, again, Greg Gagne, Kurt Hennig certainly gave Stevens and Bockwinkel all they wanted, and then some. Now you see the referee looking up. Sees all four men in the ring.
Well, he doesn't see Ray Stevens because he's been thrown out of the ring over the top rope, I think. Greg Gagne doesn't care. He's going to keep beating on Nick Bockwinkel until he just runs out of energy. Greg Gagne would beat on Nick Bockwinkel for the rest of his life if he could. Now here goes the sleeper hold.
But I guarantee you, Larry, we have not heard the end of Greg Gagne, Kurt Hennig against the team of Nick Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens.